Oh, we started. We ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
BAFA got money, and I want some. X's Nose podcast. Take 9. Hanisa Pagan.
Yo, welcome back to another episode of the X's and O's podcast. I'm still excited that we got mad visuals, man. Like, y'all can see. In the building today, we've got myself, Mr. Solenke. To my right, I've got Mr. Reliable, Danny T.
That's me.
Fresh back from MTV show, X on the Beach. How's your experience, mate?
You know what?
No comment.
Just I don't need this. I got here early as well. I got
So you actually
really
did, to
early.
be fair.
I'm really tired. I got up at 6.
We
I got up
appreciate
at 6.
you.
What do I even gain from this?
We appreciate
True,
it.
ain't no one paying.
I'm
Hey,
talking
that's
about
bare
a
haters.
league I pay subs to.
And you get
Talk to the
haters.
haters, innit?
You get a lot of haters, though.
Oh yeah.
You're haters because you're doing something right.
There you go.
They hate us because they ain't us.
Amen.
There you go. We got Bam Bam in the building.
Huh?
Got the bronze. Got the bronze bomber.
Huh? I'm gonna keep on doing it.
I know.
And we got your voice of reason, G Money.
Go on, people.
Cool. Bit of a controversial one today. Well, it's not that controversial.
It shouldn't be, but
Well, yeah,
I want my money back.
that
yeah,
essentially.
literally quite that. So
Yeah.
the government has
Sport
given,
England, innit?
or Sport England have
Yeah.
given our governing body, that is BAFA, £90,000, 90k. That's a lot
Dollar
of money,
bill.
man. That's a lot of dough, man. And I just want to know what you guys think we should spend the money on.
What
So when-
we should spend the money on, like we have a say. They're gonna
No,
pay
I'm just saying our opinions, because you know the people then be listening, even though they don't like to give us our plaudits.
Okay,
The people are listening.
this is gonna be a very unfiltered podcast. So if you are
Easily offended.
easily offended, go and watch another one of X's and O's podcast.
Go watch that,
swear-
man.
Innit?
I swear I apologise. First thing first, yeah. We've been very tame. And don't get me wrong, we kind of support BAFA, but on this whole 90k thing, I can't support BAFA. So
It
I'm gonna
depends.
say
It depends.
something.
Let's not
Depends
say
what
we
you're
can't,
gonna
because
say, yeah.
we don't know what they've actually gonna spend it. Like,
This
let's-
is
Well,
this
we
is
can't
really,
assume, but-
this is me speaking,
Yeah, I was
From
gonna say,
seeing-
speaking for yourself, isn't it?
and this is the opinions of myself, Hanif Bam Bam, and not the opinions of any other exes and O's
I'm worried about what's
You know
coming.
what's
you know.
coming.
until they say that they agree with me, or until they say they don't agree with me. But listen to what I'm saying and listen to what I'm saying carefully. This is my opinion.
Word.
Make that clear. This is me speaking off of seeing some shoddy report of what BAFA was spending their money on. And this is me of being a Britspool member who's paid subs to BAFA and hasn't really seen much change in the league for 7 years that I've been playing. Fuck BAFA.
Mad.
And I'm saying fuck BAFA because
No, I'd say your thing. Do your
they
thing, man.
don't do anything. They haven't done anything for 7 years.
A different board now, though. I'll just say.
Different board now. So this is why I said this is me speaking before they publish what they're going to spend the 90k on. Okay. If you're easily offended, there are 70 plus other podcasts to listen to. Cool.
You have to back up your talk, though, can't you?
Yeah.
I'm saying fuck BAFA because, number one, prior to this final that was played against Tamworth and London Warriors in the New River Stadium, others were played in Leeds. Yeah? Why are you going to Leeds? What has attracted you to go to Leeds? You have 2 London teams. Wait, before anyone speaks. Yeah, well, I went to Leeds because they had... Listen to what I'm saying to you. You have 2 London teams, yeah, who have been predominantly going to the Britball finals, which were the London Blitz and the London Warriors. Yeah? Other than that, as more recent, you've had Tamworth Phoenix and London Warriors. Yeah? Let's say they played in Leeds. Is Leeds a halfway point between Tamworth and Warriors?
No.
No. So that's ringing a bell in my head. Why are they going to Leeds? I did some research. To rent the Leeds Stadium is cheap as chips. So where's the money going at the head that they had? It's going into others.
You're talking about the spreadsheet.
Others.
Spreadsheet.
Oh, you're talking about the
On the
spreadsheet.
spreadsheet.
Yeah, so-
Going into others.
Right, okay.
What are they spending 23k on others? What is others?
Was it expenses?
No,
No.
others. They had expenses. Then they had others.
To be fair, there was a thing that said finals. I can't remember what the price was. Whilst you're talking, let me pull up.
Well, I was going to say, if you're finished, that is.
No, I'm not finished. I'm not finished.
This is
Others. 20. I think it was 23k on others, or it might have been 13k on others. What is others? If I publish a report to my wife and I say others, what will she say? If you publish a report to work and you say others, they're going to try to find out what it is. Why has BAFA gotten away with spending money on others for so long? And now they have 90k. Bear in mind they're paying the CEO 50k. So that, for me, that's bringing it down to 40k already.
Well, minus that.
So what is now 40k going to be on? Is they going to spend another 13k on others?
Just off the back of that, my question to you is, if they weren't awarded this 90k, how would they have paid Pete?
The way they were paying him before the 90k.
Listen.
No?
Yeah.
I don't have an answer for that. But
So
I
are we
agree
not in
with you.
surplus?
Exactly.
So let's get it
not
cracking.
it's not as straightforward as much as I want it to be.
It has to
it
be,
might- it has to
because
be.
because they were they were gambling.
Exactly.
They were gambling.
I
So
hear
they
what you're
gambled.
saying.
Listen,
They went to the bookies and said, let's see what we get from the bookies.
Not even that. How many years has BAFA taken £35 from you? Yeah. And we've spoken about this countless amounts of times in the podcast. £35 from you every year. There are 19,000 people, that play British American football under the governing body of BAFA. 19,000 times 35 is a sum I don't even want to think of. Because that's a hell of a lot of money. That's over 100k. Well over 100k. Where's this money going? You pay.
So I think now is a good time to read what they actually said themselves.
Read it.
I'll read it out.
But
So the Facebook post obviously went up when BAFA announced they were being awarded 90 grand from Sport England. And obviously there's a quote from Pete saying how grateful they are, etc., etc. And there's 57 comments and 218 reactions, as you can imagine, and nearly 30 shares because people want to know what's going on. So obviously, as you can imagine, the comments are full of all things left, right, and centre: pickpocketing money, stealing this, fraud that, all this.
What they've been doing for time.
People asking for their full refunds, as you can expect.
What they expect and what they should get back.
And BAFA actually commented, and they said, I'm going to read it all, by the way. Thank you for the comments and feedback around transparency of where this money will be spent, and we fully understand why these questions have been asked. This grant will be vital for supporting the day-to-day costs that are required for a national governing body like BAFA to operate. Including insurance, IT systems, legal and accounting. Legal and accounting, the registration system, and the CEO position. So you're not wrong. It's just not that specific.
Basically, what they're saying is that this money is not going to do anything for our sport except for do things in the office, i.e. paying Pete, getting a brand new Mac that we don't need because we probably got one last year.
Hold on.
Wait.
Still got some to read. The last paragraph says, given the funding comes from a public body in the form of Sport England, there will be a strong and robust audit of where the grant is spent. Also, we now release a fully audited, and I know we're going to have comments on this, we now release a fully audited breakdown of our finances as part of the AGM process. So all members will be able to see our expenditure
if
and
you go
costs
to the AGM.
in a transparent way, which is helpful. Now they're posting it online as well, which is what they did. The last one, I know it's not as in-depth as we wanted it to be. I'll just add another one as well because, again, there was more comments. So this is from Amanda McDonald, who was the ex-comms manager. I don't think she is anymore.
She's just internal comms now, I believe.
Internal, yeah. And she posted this on a different post saying how it's going to cover operating costs such as insurance policy, which all members have benefited from the 1st of October onwards, a national programme activity that was already underway or cancelled, storage costs for equipment including national programme kit, affiliation cost of bodies like IFAF, cost of running and administering what is basically a business, web and email hosting, licenses for software, accountants, training, meeting costs, running a membership system, travel expenses, general office costs, and yes, a CEO salary, and the list goes on. I think what I'll do want to say is people just do have to realize, and we've said it before, you do have to realize, as BAFA try to emulate other successful business organizations, you're going to find that you're going to have to spend a lot of money on these exact things. It's just the way it works.
Yeah,
So
100%.
Business.
and when they reported this 90 grand, the key word is operational costs. The first thing everyone was so quick to do is give me my money back, or you go buy that for the game. But it's the reason why it's so hard for people to fathom is because the same thing we always say: the state of BAFA is not great. Yeah,
It's awful. Let's not beat it around the bush.
No, it's not. We're not beating. It's true. It's not, and it hasn't been great for a while. But it's not as bad as it used to be. It's still bad.
What do you mean it's not as bad?
It's not, but it's still improving.
Tell me what.
No, that's not the point.
No, wait, no, George, please. Tell me what has improved.
Okay, well,
because games are still getting called off.
That's not.
Pitches ain't
No,
marked
I
up.
don't
That's-
think
that's-
This is
Nah.
operational costs. They've said operational costs. And as far as
That
I'm
stands for
concerned,
club.
wait, hold on, wait. As far as I'm concerned, operational costs should never allow a game to be called off an hour before it's meant to kick off.
That's not BAFA though.
That's not bad.
Who is it then?
That's
That's
down
the
to the
club.
team.
No.
That's
That's
down
the
to the
club.
team.
Was that
100%.
was that the refs
No.
or what was that? I don't
Because-
know.
Take
Because
responsibility
no,
for something.
because Barclays Premier League, make sure that every team has a field.
We're not Barclays Premier League.
completely
though.
different.
Doesn't matter.
It
Okay,
does.
Sunday league football teams, From when I was knee high, Sunday league football teams, You cannot have a Sunday league football team if you don't have a field. Correct
Okay,
or not?
I Wait,
get,
I get what
answer
you're
the
saying.
question.
I
Answer
get
the
what you're
question.
saying.
You cannot have a Sunday league football team if you don't have a medic. How many games have you gone to and the medic hasn't showed up until God knows when?
Yeah, I've heard that.
How many games
That's
have you
not,
gone?
that's not BAFA's fault.
It is
though.
BAFA's fault
The,
because
stand, the
BAFA
standards
is-
will
wait,
come back
wait.
because the standards were there before.
No,
Those standards
wait,
about the
Emeka,
stadiums were there
Emeka.
before. You could not have a team without a stadium.
stadium.
Yeah, you
That's
couldn't.
it,
You
But
couldn't.
those need that's BAFA. That time is coming, and
When?
I'm hoping that in the
When?
next
Because
As
I've been
now,
hearing,
you can't.
I've
You
been
can't.
hearing
You
this
can't.
for the past
As
7 years.
as part of your affiliation process as becoming a team, you need to have a home stadium. You need to have a home ground. It doesn't have to be a stadium. You just need to have a home ground marked.
Where
You can't
people are
play
gonna
without official referees. Will go to a ground if your field isn't marked correctly. They're within the rights to be like, no, we're not playing here, or you can't. There's not going to be a game today. But things like a game being cancelled because enough players haven't turned up. That's not. That's
No,
not.
I'm
a
not
BAFA
saying.
issue.
I've never said
the
about
reason. The reason.
turning up. I've never said
Then,
about that.
so why are these games being cancelled?
Games get. I've seen games get cancelled an hour before because refs haven't turned up. How many uni games have you gone to, or how many games have you gone to?
I've had that at uni, yeah.
We need
If a ref doesn't-
we need chain crew. We can't play this game because we ain't got chain crew.
Again, that's not BAFA.
This is, but it's all operational
Okay,
costs.
No,
I get
a
what
chain-
you're saying. I get what you're
yeah,
saying. But
yeah.
but BAFA, I think from what you're saying is BAFA set the bar too low
No,
for some of these
no,
teams
that's right. No,
because
no,
they
no,
don't
that's
have
true.
home stadiums, they don't have people for chain crews,
Yeah.
they don't
Yeah,
have
yeah,
X,
yeah.
Y,
But
Z.
this is-
However,
Teams need
BAFA
take
needs to set the
responsibility.
bar higher. That's all they can do because BAFA can't. There's not enough people to
And to
manage
get
all the
to
teams
get
across
to
the
these,
country.
to get to this
Listen.
level, money's gonna have to be
Yeah,
spent.
Exactly.
Well, if you're saying operational costs, operational costs are everything that you need to operate a football game.
No,
no,
that's
it's-
just the difference. BAFA is
BAFA
the
as
governing
an
body,
organisation.
but BAFA try and encourage or give GMs or club managers the tools to be able to run their own operation. BAFA can't manage all the teams in the
It's
country.
too much. Yeah,
It's
a
way
lot.
too much. It's
Like,
fine.
what do you
BAFA
mean?
can't
The
manage.
question I still want to
What do you
answer,
mean?
which hasn't been answered, if Sport England didn't grant this 90k, how would they operate? Because my understanding is that this 90k
Part of it
was
is
gambled.
yeah,
They
exactly.
gambled.
So part of it, no, but I think, and I don't know how true or clear this is. I don't think the 90k has necessarily come from Pete becoming the CEO
Yeah.
of BAFA.
Yeah.
Because there was some article about Sport England giving out funds to grassroots sport, and they had to apply for it. So even if Pete wasn't on board, BAFA would have still probably applied for it, and I'm assuming would have been granted some of this
Yeah,
money.
100%.
If Pete
I
wasn't
know
on-
Pete is now here, and it kind of looks like he has got that single-handedly.
yeah.
Whereas I don't necessarily think that's the case. Anyway, if I'm wrong, please let me know. But your point about that we've
If we
heard
didn't
now
get the
from
90k,
both,
would Pete start the job basically?
so from both Amanda and whoever it was that responded as BAFA on a Facebook post, some of that money is going towards Pete. They've said it; they're not hiding it.
Yeah.
It's going towards Pete, whereas the rest of it is going to operational costs. That all the ones that I've
bulk
mentioned.
of it is going towards Pete.
I don't
I
know.
don't- I don't-
We
I don't
don't
think
know what the
it'll be the
breakdown
bulk.
is.
If
And
Pete-
the reason
know
why I
what
don't think it'll be the bulk is
if-
because remember everyone didn't get all of their registration money back, so I feel like there might be an element of that goes into the whole BAFA pot.
Yeah,
You man are
money
not-
that they've missed.
You men are not
technically
deep,
missed
you men
out
are not
on.
deep in this, yeah? On the report that we saw from BAFA, they said
The
others.
balance sheet.
Let's pick some things from
Wait,
there.
hold on.
I'm
It said,
very
it
open.
said others, yeah?
Yeah.
We also say
About,
others.
it's got like £15,000 and others, yes.
If Pete was not there, the money that they have said that was going to Pete, that Amanda
Oh.
specifically said that was
Yeah.
going to pay,
to pay for him.
I know would be in that others category. And
As
now
in
I
there
It's
was
not.
one-
It's,
you
to be
mean-
fair, it says here CEO total cost £30,000.
yeah,
so
£30,000
that's
for
that's
what?
that's
Because
So they owe him another
as
20.
far as I'm concerned,
possibly. We don't know what the
As
setup
far-
is for his.
But no, but when they first announced the CEO, it did say that Sport England was gonna give us some money for a CEO.
To cover,
So
okay.
£30,000 has
okay.
come from BAFA,
Yeah.
So the
and
rest
then
will
the
be
top
topped
up
up
would have
from
come from.
so whether it's the,
But that was
so,
that was aside of the 90k
yeah.
though. That was just when
Yeah.
the CEO was announced.
so whether it's now that they take 20k from this 90 to give to Pete, who knows? We don't know what the financial
Exactly
arrangement
that,
is.
So
yeah.
give or take, let's say
That's kind of
70k for operational costs, yeah? Give or take, we've got 70k. Because my understanding is the league can run without the 70k.
Sorry, 70k.
No, but
You're
because
saying that we're saying that 70k is going into.
No,
He gets paid 50 bags.
No,
but what we're trying to say
no,
is
he's trying to
the
say
30 plus the 20.
BAFA
and they give them
provide.
90.
Okay.
Yeah.
So okay, we got 70k to play with. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now my question is, if we were BAFA, how do we spend that money wisely? Because I'm hearing that they have an accountant, but I don't hear they have a financial advisor.
One accountant from one shoddy village in Nigeria.
That's right. That's possible. A big possibility. But select it.
Yeah.
I'm sure on that list there's something that called legal expenses. Yes.
Yeah.
I want to know, and how much exactly did BAFA spend last year on legal expenses?
2019. So draft 2019 actual £22,000. But it says covers all legal fees, including a defamation case.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. I don't know
How much? 19,000.
22,000.
Okay.
Case
So
of
my
defamation.
presumption is that will be on the balance sheet next year, right?
Well, for
That
2020
spending, that allocation, the spending will be
There might be an allocation, but how much they spend, we don't know.
depending. There you go. Now that let's eliminate that. Yeah. Let's say we got another 90k to spend. Yeah,
90?
100 plus. Let's say we don't have any legal defamation case next year.
Oh, you mean that
plus the
22
20.
that they've
Add it, is it 90 something thousand?
Yeah.
Cool.
92.
How much does it cost to operational cost? Is there operational cost on there?
Essentially, you want
That balance sheet is based on no grant. This balance sheet is
Yeah,
based
exactly.
and
Oh,
the
right.
league is functioning.
Exactly.
It's
hear what
not
you're
great, but it's
Exactly.
functioning.
You know what, yeah?
Unless there's something, there's arrears that they're not telling us
stop
about.
lying and stop spending money on going to hotels and eating fancy 5-star food
And claiming expenses.
and claiming expenses.
That's
and put the
number one
money-
financial advice.
I'm sick and I'm fucking sick and tired of
Stop
this.
spending the money on expenses.
Stop,
You all
stop
work.
lying. Nah,
you all have
I'm
jobs.
I'm
Stop
lying.
it.
Nah,
It stops today.
I'm fuming.
You've got jobs.
because
Stop
after
eating our money.
after 7 years,
You're
of
not
playing in
unemployed.
Britball. No, wait. After 7 years of playing in Britball,
Oh,
7
my days.
flipping years of playing in
love
Britball.
this.
What has changed? From 2013 to 2020, bear in mind we haven't played the 2020 season.
Yeah.
What has changed?
What's changed?
Nothing.
They spend money. They don't spend money in B&Bs anymore. They now go to
They now go to 5-star hotels in the
or they go to the Hilton and
eat
lodge in
steak
the
and
Hilton
lobster.
hotel.
What nonsense is that, bruv?
Oh, by the way, guys, this is all assumptions and
not
potential
assumptions,
allegations.
it's fact.
We don't know. We don't know. We
I
don't know.
love this league. I love this
We
game,
don't know.
and I
We
love
don't
this
know.
country, and I can see the
We
potential.
don't know, but we have to understand why some people, and again, we're the voice of the streets. Basically, we're the voice of the players on the ground level. I guess we need to understand and get to the bottom of as to why players, coaches, and all those associated with our sport are feeling aggrieved as to where the money is potentially going to. Because you're right, we're looking at this. So we're seeing legal fees of £22,000, management expenses of £30,000, and it's just like. Why are these things going
Some
to
clubs,
like that?
some clubs,
majority of the
yeah,
roles are voluntary.
Listen, some clubs are struggling with subs. Struggling with
struggling,
subs, and that's the onus on the players. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It's on the players. Players play your subs.
But
I've been a
sometimes clubs need to be bailed
I've
out.
been a victim of that. There's been times where I should have been paying my subs, and due to other reasons or whatnot, I haven't been able to. And
Took a back
sometimes
burner,
it's just
yeah.
due to laziness. I haven't been able to do that. But there should be no club struggling when you're getting a 90k fund from Sport England. Even before that,
Do you think £90,000 enough to?
it's not enough to cover every team.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I know
not.
for a fact it's not enough to cover every team. Yeah. But let's take it like this. Yeah. Clubs, if you're a governing body, in fact, let me break it down like this. Yeah. Solanke, you yourself, you deal with numbers every day in your personal life. Yeah?
Yeah.
If your work told you to look at this spreadsheet that BAFA produced, wouldn't you think there was some illegal activity going on?
Mad. Mad.
If I was presented,
If you're presented,
This was one of my-
let me not even put you in a sticky situation. If you're presented with that, if I came to you, I said, "Oh yeah, Solanke, look at my papers, yeah."
yeah,
Please.
I'd be like, there's some numbers to crunch. Like,
Yeah, like what is this?
there's a lot of.
Emeka.
I'm looking at this.
Emeka.
And
Pete is fighting the war against the ill discipline, and it's time. I like Pete. Do you know why I like him? Because he's a forward-thinking man,
very forward.
and he knows what it takes to be successful.
I can't lie, I have
That-
no. I have
and
no
the
opinion
proof
on
is in the
anyone at
pudding.
moment.
Now I want Pete, because he can't choose who his family is, and I'm talking about the BAFA family. He can only have
can,
someone.
yes, he can.
can
Of
choose.
course
He
he
can
can.
choose. But
They
now
changed- they did
he doesn't.
change.
He wants the ship to be steady. Yeah, he doesn't want to completely change the ship. That's understandable because he's coming in there as somebody kind of new to the sport, doesn't really know how the sport, and no,
He's
the sport.
employed by BAFA.
Exactly.
Emeka, let me ask you a question.
Well, let me
When you finish, yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Go on.
Let me ask you a question, yeah? In fact, everyone in this room, let me ask you a question, yeah? Someone buys you a house, yeah? Yeah? Someone buys you a house, 5-bed house, lovely house, garden, swimming pool, everything. You ask them how did they afford it, they say don't worry. Isn't that not going to ring alarm bells?
Yeah.
No.
Don't worry
It's
about
not going to ring alarm bells.
Yeah,
in your
because
head.
I'm living in the house. I want
You're
to know
living in the
what's
house.
coming.
Don't ruin a
You
good thing
have
asking
bought-
too many questions.
Wait, you have bought your family, yeah?
Yeah.
Bear in mind, a house is meant to be your sanctuary where you go to feel safe, yeah?
Yeah.
You have brought your family into this house. The person that's bought this house,
You need to have peace of mind.
supposedly, yeah, has told you, oh yeah, don't worry about it. No, he said, no, I need to see a breakdown of things. The first thing you see, okay, house costs, blah, blah, blah. This costs, blah, 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 blah. And then by the time you look at the bottom, after seeing all the stamp duty and everything, the numbers are not adding up to what the house
Yeah.
should cost. Isn't that not going to ring alarm
Yeah,
bells?
definitely
will.
If you see expenses, yeah? If you see
What are the
expenses,
expenses?
you want to know what these expenses are. Then they say, oh yeah, sorry, the expense. You know, when they were doing this, I had to stay in a hotel, but the hotel that I wanted to stay wasn't available, so they had
So
to
I had to
upgrade
go
me
to
to
the
this. I had to get an Uber XL to this location because I had to meet someone there and there were no Ubers. Wouldn't you be thinking, hold on. You're using this for personal gain.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, and I've been in BAFA, around BAFA, playing as a member of whatever, as they being my governing body for 7 years.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, nothing has changed. When we were doing podcasts in Paris's
South London.
cousin's house in South London,
Those
yeah,
days, man.
till now, and I mentioned something, yeah, and I'm going to mention it again because we lost the footage of that. If BAFA truly cared about Brickball, they'll be more transparent than they are. How can you have a whole, I don't know, 60%, 70% of people that don't trust their governing body?
I hear
How is
you.
that? As a whole community, wouldn't the first thing that you want as a governing
To
body
rebuild that relationship.
rebuild that relationship? Wouldn't you want the people that are playing in it to trust you? How can you live life thinking, and this is not even, I say live life, how can you run something
Yeah.
and the number one
I
thing
know
is
what you
that
mean.
people don't trust us?
Okay, moving
Doesn't that ring
forward
alarm bells?
from this, okay, because we agreed to disagree.
Sorry, just
right?
quickly.
Yeah.
I hear you, but Pete just got here, remember?
I'm
He
that's
just-
what I said.
yeah.
That's what I
I
said.
get
I
you,
put the
I get
disclaimer
you.
out. I put the
And just
disclaimer
to
out,
add
and
as
I'm
well,
going to
B,
say
before
again.
just before you go as well. And the thing is, I think people are well within their rights to feel like that because historically we know what the league has been like,
Yeah.
and people know about the little side dealings or whatever it was that was happening in terms of finances before. So that always looms over whoever runs BAFA now.
Yeah.
Like Pete,
Regardless, it's gonna be a nasty
even,
smell
Yeah,
in
even
the
though it's
room.
not there. Yeah, so feeling like that isn't wrong.
There's
even
nothing
though,
wrong with it at all.
even though Pete is new and they've got some new members on the board, etc., and they want to do these new athletes board and
association
inclusive
thing,
diversity board. The looming of the previous mishappenings with BAFA, it's still
gonna-
there.
yeah.
We can't relate it to the guys now because that's not fair, but it's still
exactly.
there. So for
And
people
that's
to
a
have that
disclaimer.
opinion is
That's
understandable.
a disclaimer that I
Yeah,
want to put.
that's
I'm
understandable.
not bashing anyone from
But-
this point on.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah,
I'm
But you're allowed to
bashing
feel
people
how you
from
feel.
this point
you're allowed to. Yeah.
backwards.
Yeah.
Because as far as I'm concerned, it's all Nigerian business. All of it is all 419. All of it. Because as soon as I see others and expenses that are not defined,
There's a problem there.
there's a
And
problem.
I guess the answer is why would it not be defined? But go on.
There's a problem. Because if there was nothing wrong with it,
You
it
would
would
show.
be expensive. Sub bracket.
This.
yeah.
Others, sub bracket, this. To file.
Don't worry. I'm not bashing. Whomever for lodging in the Hilton Hotel or the Marriott Hotel. Listen, you're working for the league, yeah, and you're trying to make the league better. Enjoy your expenses. I'm just saying, don't take from our money.
No, not even that.
That's what.
No,
that's
not
what.
even that.
Give us 30K.
No,
So us as the players can have something that we can be proud of. In the next 4 or 5 years, to say we played in a league that was
How can American
successful.
coaches tell us that they don't know the level of football that we're playing at?
We're not out
When
there
we're
like
meant to
that.
be the most senior league in the whole of Britball, and
Yeah, but
American coaches are questioning if a high school could beat the London Warriors.
I blame BAFA for that because I think BAFA now, some of that 90K should be used for streaming at least 15 games, which
Not
can
even
go on
streaming.
YouTube.
It's not even about
BAFA
the
needs to have a
streaming.
YouTube page.
not even
That's another
It's not
discussion.
even about the streaming. Your website is awful. You're saying you're spending money on IT purposes.
Yeah.
The website is awful.
Can't
You
lie,
log
it
onto the
is.
website, yeah, it says, oh, yeah, find a team in your area. You click it, you can't find a team
I've
in
been
your
trying
area.
to, that used to work as
It
well.
did used to work.
That used to work.
Remember
That's
they've hired can't remember her name, so apology, but they have hired this new lady for this role to look at
the
that site.
website,
So all the things that we're
Where's the
speaking about
advertisement?
Our team,
have been it
There
doesn't
was,
exist.
to be
our
fair.
Where's
game,
the
our game
advertisement?
game just need to be on the IFI. Simple.
Not even that, bro.
No, but it's
Not
a
even
start.
that.
It's a
Okay.
start. But
Okay.
that aside, okay.
We have a big NFL following in the UK. Yeah, huge NFL following in the UK. The moment you mention to someone that we play American football in the UK, they say you're having a laugh.
NFL's different gravy though.
I know it is, but even now
more
to
common
everyone in
in
this
other
room,
parts of
the
Europe
first
than it
time you heard that we play American football in this country, what was your first reaction?
When I heard, I saw it at Market Road, so I was a bit baffled. Yeah,
Exactly,
what's
America,
going
you were
on?
baffled, no?
I was surprised. I didn't even know there
Solanke,
were
you were
teams.
baffled, no? You didn't believe
I
it.
don't remember.
You
to be
didn't believe it was a real thing. Me, I heard from some guy working in Argos that we play American football in the UK. I was like, what? I couldn't believe it.
Essentially,
How is
though,
there?
like,
How has there been? Yeah, from the model that we had in the 80s and 90s to now, and I've said it in the world of social media. How has BAFA
gone backwards?
gone backwards?
The thing is, we're
That's
the
almost
oldest
prehistoric.
league in Europe.
Yeah.
We're not even on
Exactly.
IFI. IFI don't even rate us.
Exactly.
They don't even rate us. They don't even want to put our games on their channel.
How can there's one team, yeah, that's been rated the top 25 in Europe, top 50 in Europe.
Warriors, no?
One team.
Mad. Okay, moving aside from
and
that.
time off,
90k.
but,
Oh,
Yeah, I was
70k.
I was literally going to move on to that. I was going to say, you know what, it's tough, but I think nothing changes until
Not yet,
There's-
anyway. Not yet.
like there's financial backing behind it.
That's right.
So
It's
Pete
needed, man.
Pete has been given a mandate to do something. He's going to try his best to do it because he's
hope.
being. Yeah, I hope. But
He'll
I
be
think,
paid.
to be
First
fair, let me
paid.
not lie to you. If you're asking me, is Pete making changes? I think he is. I've had discussions with him about his plans and ideas. I just need to see it be executed. And so, unless
Actions
they're not
speak louder than
executed,
words.
I'm not going to say otherwise. You know what I mean? He's new to the job. You have to give someone that's new to the job the benefit of the doubt. He's been slapped in the face with the whole COVID-19 thing. Who knows what he had planned outside of the CFL bits and pieces for the league. So we'll wait to see what happens on that front. But now they've been given £90,000. Yes, part of it might go towards the CEO. I don't see how any more than £20,000 of that goes towards the CEO.
Based
Then
on
there's
what we've just
there's
seen,
operational costs. I don't see how any more than half of the 75 left goes to operating costs. So for me personally, there's
30K.
35 to 30k to play with. The first, if you're asking me, yeah, and I don't know if BAFA are listening to this, what we need, in my opinion, is another paid body, man.
Yeah.
Simple
commit
as that.
full-time,
And
yeah.
full time.
Yeah.
Full time. And the reason why I say that is because the moment you get another full paid person in, that person is now has to be now held accountable for their actions.
That's right.
I don't know at what level Pete might want them but this person is no longer a volunteer. This person doesn't need to have commissions as much as the volunteers need commissions because they're being paid to do a service.
Yeah.
For me, if you're asking me what that person does, this person is a consultant for all of the clubs. All of the clubs, not just senior level, not just university. I'm talking flag, I'm talking youth, I'm talking go into all of these clubs up and down the country. What can we do as BAFA to make sure that you guys reach the next level?
I don't think BAFA care that much. That's why it's never.
Well, we'll soon find out, innit?
We'll soon find out.
We'll
But
soon find out. But
for me, it's painful to be like, okay, then we've had all this money in, and we still can't afford to put another paid bum in the BAFA offices.
Listen.
It's ridiculous. All of these volunteers eventually are just going to get tired and be like, I can't be asked to do this.
Well, that's why it changes so often, isn't it?
That's
why
it. It changes so
They're volunteers. They ain't getting paid.
That's it.
They have to do their job
many times
as well as doing this, as well as whatever personal issues that they got in their life.
Excuse my French, yeah, but if you shit in the toilet in London and you shit in the toilet in France, it's still gonna smell like shit. That's what I'm saying.
I can't lie. We have to wrap up. But
All right,
what I
just
will,
quickly, I'm just going to talk about refunds.
I'll go on. Go on.
How much was registration? All right, bye.
Bam Bam has left the building.
He's vexed.
Right,
this is a
how
touchy
much?
subject for him.
Registration was £50, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
So how much did people get back in the refund?
40% if I'm not wrong.
So what does that equal? What was the number? You got
I, mean,
back?
it was,
Like 27.
I didn't pay, so I don't know. I think people got like.
You just stopped just before.
I think people got like £16.50 back or something like that.
£22.
Or
Half, yeah.
£22. So let's say like £22. All right, let's say taking away the admin costs and stuff like that, 20 quid, yeah? So people still want their £20 back.
Yeah, that's cool.
There's a £90,000 grant, 19,000 players, £20 back, £380,000. It's not happening. You're not getting your refund. I'm sorry. That's it. Stop.
I think
whining.
people need to get past that.
It's getting embarrassing now that people are still whining.
Yeah,
Every
that's-
comment,
I mean, that's what I was gonna say, on the
every post I
Yeah.
see in these groups,
Same thing.
it's always someone whining
thing.
about their refund.
And what did
just broken records?
Angela say? Didn't she say that people, players that registered were covered from 1st of October insurance wise? So it's
So if
something that,
anything happened,
and Lord knows if they were able to cancel that insurance, because insurance was usually 6-12 months. Like Lord knows if BAFA were able to cancel it. If they weren't, then do you know what I mean? That's is money lost. So with that whole I want my money back thing, I understand it. I understand what it's a tough time, but
easily.
it's
and just
You know
no,
what I mean?
just
You watch Dragon Ball Z, yeah? You get one wish from that dragon thing.
no, you get three.
So
I think
3 wishes, yeah. Okay, let's just say we just.
I like that.
We get
I like
one
this
wish.
question, yeah.
What will your one wish be with that 30k
I think I
as a
said
player?
it. As a player,
paid member.
hire someone. Yeah.
Danny?
I'm gonna take the 30k and run.
Just invest it wisely, man. Potentially by paying someone to have a full-time job, so it becomes their full-time responsibility.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the only way you're going to get proper commitment. But
Someone
on
that
that,
someone
we
that
got shut
feeds
down,
into
man.
Pete, man.
we got shut down. But the last quote is just again from Pete, where they said the 90k grant will assist BAFA through the COVID-19 crisis and support operational costs. If you want to twist it and make it whatever you can, but essentially it's going to go towards operational costs. And we'll see if some does get allocated towards the making the game physically better, not that operational costs aren't,
right.
but we'll see. Thank you for listening. Make sure you tune into all our previous episodes, subscribe on all the socials at X's Nose Team, and look out for the next episode. Peace.